How to keep running strong through menopause. So, hey, I'm Dr. Ray Peralta, physical therapist and run coach. And over the last 10 years or so, I've helped hundreds of runners run faster, stay pain free, and train smarter, even through life's biggest transitions like menopause. So, in this video, I'm going to break down exactly how menopause affects your running and, more importantly, how you can adapt your training to stay strong, consistent, and injury free. Whether you're in your 40s or 50s, I'll show you how to keep running without sacrificing recovery, bone health, or motivation. And we're going to cover the 5 critical areas that menopause affects: exercise performance, sleep and recovery, body composition, bone health, and mental health. Stick around to the end where I share hydration tips and supplement options to help you optimize recovery starting today. So first off, the average age of menopause in the US is about 51 years old. Menopause isn't just about the end of periods. It's a hormonal shift that impacts everything from your blood vessels to your brain. Estrogen and progesterone start to drop, which can affect your thermoregulation, the way your body regulates your temperature, recovery, body fat storage, mood, sleep, and more. Let's dive into how all this impacts runners and what you can actually do about it. So, number one, on exercise performance and thermal regulation, your body temperature regulation. Menopause messes up with the body's internal thermostat, right? Hot flashes, night sweats, and poor cooling during exercise can hit hard. So, here's what you can do: pre-cool. Drink ice cold water before you run. Slushy. You could pre-cooled like a bandana or like a wet garments you wear, like towel around the neck or something. You could use the supplement beta-alanine, a pre-run, to help with blood vessel dilation. Layer your clothing so you could adjust as your body temperature shifts. Stay consistent. The good news is that active women tend to experience fewer and milder symptoms compared to their more sedentary peers. Also, menopausal runners often sweat less and later, right? With higher salt concentration in their sweat, that means they're losing more salt. And that's why prehydration and electrolyte management are key. Right? You may actually find that during the menopause stages that you need more electrolytes, more sodium or salt in your diet. So for hydration, what do I recommend? Drink about 96 to 128 ounces, which is about 3 to 4 liters of fluids or water daily. And then during your exercise or around your exercise, so for example, pre-run, before your exercise or run, do like a half teaspoon of salt, so which may seem like a lot, but if you're someone who's losing a lot of electrolytes, you need to do some amount. So it's about a half teaspoon of salt is about 1150 milligrams of sodium. Interestingly, the electrolyte brand Element has a 1000 milligrams of sodium in it. So you could do the supplement or just get sea salt. I'm a big fan of Redmond sea salt. So a half teaspoon of salt 30 minutes or an hour before you run. And then every hour, let's say you're training for an hour, every hour of your training, maybe you're going on a long run that's an hour, 2 hours long, or even 3 hours long, right? You'll continue to do about 1000 milligrams or the half teaspoon of salt with your fluid, which are water, for every hour you're running. Now, that might be gross for you, so you may just want to do the half teaspoon and just chug water, or get like a supplement like Element, again, which is flavored, like they have different flavors, or make your own homemade mix, where, for example, you could do like coconut water with lemon juice, lemon lime juice, and then with the salt, and then you can make your own kind of homemade electrolyte milk beverage, excuse me. And then coconut water is also high in potassium, so you get your potassium, you get your sodium, very important electrolytes there. Sleep and recovery. So nearly 2/3 of menopausal women report insomnia, right? Lower estrogen and progesterone also leads to lower melatonin production and temperature instability, right? They're getting hot flashes at night, have difficulty sleeping. And tips for better sleep as a runner dealing with menopause: run in the morning if possible. All right, it's because if you work out too close to your bedtime, that may disrupt your ability to go to sleep, and disrupt your temperature, because now you've like kind of heated up from exercise, and now it's going to be kind of hard to sleep immediately after exercise. So try to do your workouts, your running, especially first in the morning. Drink tart cherry juice 30 minutes before you go to bed, because tart cherry juice is also naturally has melatonin in it, which can help you go to bed, go to sleep. Keep your room cool, right? Maybe use a fan or air conditioner. Use moisture wicking sheets, again, to help your body not start like having these night sweats and then you get all sticky and stuff. Limit alcohol, caffeine, and heavy meals at night, right? So try to space out dinner and sleep. So if you have dinner, right, try to have dinner about 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed, so it allows your body to digest it, so you're not going to bed with a big meal, and then it's also your body's trying to digest. Then you're trying to go to sleep when you have like a big meal in you. It's better to space out dinner and sleep, and then for your evening, your dinner, try to have carbohydrates in there as well. Carbs also help raise serotonin before sleep, so it helps you kind of get to sleep a little better. Um, Another thing that happens that you have to be aware of is body composition and fat gain. So, hormonal shifts with menopause tends to increase body fat, particularly abdominal or belly fat, and decrease lean muscle. So, studies show that postmenopausal women burn 33% less fat during exercise. To maintain a strong lean body, prioritize strength training, right? At least 2 to 3 times a week. Doing strength training, a full body routine, right? You want to target the major muscle groups, and particularly, obviously, you want to train your legs. You also want to train your core, things like squats, deadlifts. So many different options out there, but essentially, you do want to strength train. It's going to help you with your body composition, especially lean muscle. You want to keep your body fat, especially if you want to stay lean, if you want to be performance minded, maybe you're competitive, even if it's just competitive with yourself. Body fat between 14 to 20%, right? Because if you're over like 33% body fat, right, that can increase your risk of health issues, heart disease, even diabetes. So make sure you're keeping relatively healthy body fat. And I would actually recommend going to like 20%, 14 to 20% if you're really focused on performance, is being, still being able to run fast as you get older. And if you're not sure your body fat percentage, you could get this done. Many scales you could buy these scales that can measure your body fat percentage, or you go to a local gym or health store, and oftentimes they have devices that can help you measure body fat, or work with a trainer, and they could do like different tests on you to help determine your body fat percentage. You also want to avoid ultra processed foods, excessive sugar and alcohol intake, because again, that's going to lead to excessive body fat. And stay consistent with regular movement, right? You want to at least exercise on a regular basis, right? Usually it's not a big deal with runners. They tend to enjoy running, but make sure you're at least doing cardio, running, combination, running, biking, etc., at least 5 hours a week. And then having a healthy diet. So bone health. Estrogen supports bone strength. After menopause, the risk for osteoporosis and fractures skyrockets. 50% of postmenopausal women will sustain an osteoporotic fracture in their lifetime. So your plan, again, you want to strength train, because strength training could lead to weight bearing, particularly weight bearing exercise, right? Grabbing weights, maybe grab dumbbells or a barbell, right? Doing a barbell squat. Maybe you're doing lunges, things, again, you're doing weight bearing exercise. Yes, you can use machines like the leg press machine, but I still recommend doing these more functional movements, because the machines have limitation. They're not really working on your balance as much, right? So if you also want to work on balance and strength, doing, again, that squat with weights in your hand, right? Even if you have the flexibility and strength for overhead squat, there's so many different options out there. Calf raises, Romanian deadlift, hip thrusters. You also, again, we talked about cardio, right? 5 hours a week, right? Running counts, of course, but you may also want to integrate biking, swimming, rowing, power training, plyometrics, right? Box jumps, hopping, jump rope, right? So you also want to incorporate, I like to do both, right? Maybe as part of your strength training, you also have a few strength exercises, also like squat jumps, jumping on and off a box. Maybe you'll do 3 to 5 sets, 10, 20 reps, etc. So get your body also used to jumping and landing, which will also improve your bone density, your bone strength. You could also jump on a trampoline. There's different ways to do impact loading. And yes, running counts as impact activity, but you also want to do a variety of different movements and strategies. Also building foods, leafy greens, soy seeds, get vitamin D from your sun, and make sure you obviously calcium intake as well. Calcium, you can do it from dairy, and certain foods also fortified with calcium. If you need to, you may have to supplement as well. If you can't, maybe you don't have access to the sun as much, or there may be risk of skin cancer. Obviously, you could do also supplement with vitamin D, and consider discussing natural hormone replacement therapy options with your doctor if needed. Mental and emotional health. So mood swings, anxiety, and sadness are common during menopause. And if running doesn't feel like enough to stabilize your mood, because sometimes people do get depressed during menopause, you're not alone and you're not broken. Try this: eat whole foods high in vitamin C, B vitamins, omega-3s. Get outside daily, right? So if you're someone who normally does their workouts or runs indoors on a treadmill, just go outside, because when you're exposed to sunlight or fresh air, actually that just improves your mood. So move your body, and if you do multiple workouts, right, at least some of your workouts, again, should be done outdoors. Limit your alcohol and sugar and processed foods. right? Because again, these processed foods can actually affect your mood. What you eat, your gut health could actually affect your mood. So, right, again, try to eat healthy foods. If you eat unhealthy foods, actually could lead you to be more irritability, mood swings. Talk to a therapist if your mood changes feel overwhelming or if you're dealing with major life events. And most importantly, don't isolate yourself, right? Get support, right? Running is a tool, but so is community support and proper care with, friends and families, support groups, etc. So, in recap, menopause can affect how you train, how you recover, your sleep, your bones, and your mental health. But with the right training, nutrition, hydration, and mindset, you can continue running strong well into your 50s, 60s, and beyond. And if you want to learn how to run pain free and recover smarter, check out my free training, link in the description. And if you found this helpful, drop a comment or like, or share this with a running friend over 40 who needs to hear this.